Well, good morning. It is Thursday, November 4th, and we have gathered for our morning devotion. And today's is called Rock, and from Matthew 16, verses 18 and 19. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth you shall loose in heaven. His name was Simon. So what is strange and presumptuous, how do you do? To be told your new name is Peter. His brother Andrew was already in. He'd been a disciple of John the Baptist, and when John identified Jesus as the Messiah, was all the proof Andrew needed. He became one of Jesus' first disciples, and he was good at it. By all accounts, Andrew was steady, studied, good-natured, and easy to have around. As for Simon, not so much. Simon Peter was emotional. When Jesus tried to wash his feet, Peter refused to allow the master's humble act of service. But Jesus answered him, "If I do not wash you, you have no share with me." So Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet, but also my hands and my head." And that's from John chapter 13, verses 8 and 9. As it often did, the feelings pendulum swung. Simon Peter was impulsive. When soldiers came to arrest him, Peter drew his sword to cut off the guy's ear. It was perhaps the most ineffective countermeasure possible, to take an entire temple guard by way of one man's ear. Not sure what the plan was there. Sometimes Simon Peter was afraid of stuff. After Jesus' arrest, all of Peter's ear-cutting bravado vanished. To avoid being arrested, he denied even knowing Jesus. Not once, but 3 times, just as Christ predicted he would. All of his instability begs the question, why did Jesus call him Peter, especially considering the name Peter means rock? The answer? Jesus makes us what we're not. Notice some correlations between pre-Jesus Peter and post-Jesus Peter. Pre-Jesus Peter was directed by emotion. Post-Jesus Peter was directed by his intense love of Jesus. Pre-Jesus Peter was impulsive. Post-Jesus Peter was stable, but the culture was not. Christianity was changing everything, and leading the charge required the ability to adjust, to pivot, and respond to the Holy Spirit on the fly. Pre-Jesus Peter was afraid. Post-Jesus Peter was afraid of ever turning his back on Jesus again, therefore becoming fearless regarding everything else. And the same power that transformed the unruly fisherman is at work in all who believe. Jesus accepts us as we are, but he knows who will become by God's power and by God making us what we're not yet. And so our prayer focus. Ask God to reveal a sinful part of you that you think is just the way that I am, and ask God to make you something you're not. So the moving forward questions. What is your primary weakness? In what ways have you seen God transform your heart and mind? Write down a weakness you want to turn into a strength, and commit to praying it for help and for working on it.